Hey everyone, it's James at geometriccharts.com, September 24th, about 5:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So, price is trying to head higher, right? And there was a big influx of volume into it. And I believe I left my video off saying that I was, pretty skeptical on it. Just want to see how the volume sticks. And unfortunately, the volume that came in, roughly about 2 billion from an increase from about an average of 4 billion 24-hour volume on Bitcoin, has now dwindled from over 6 billion right back down to 4 billion. So here we are again during a move where there's a lot of hype, right? I see mainstream media hyping up the Ripple move like a pump and dump scheme that, something like right out of like the Boiler Room or Wolf on Wall Street, or, some scummy like tactic in a broker in like a Wall Street film that you would see out there. I mean, that's exactly what it is. The hype is there to drive everyone into this frenzy where you got these mainstream media articles writing these crazy headlines like Ripple's up 80% in less than 24 hours and blah, blah, blah. Think about how rich you could become, blah, blah, blah. And that volume, they pump it up and then they retract that volume as quick as possible like they've done in the past. And every single time it's not ended well for Bitcoin. So I do see it rolling over here. I think there's a potential for maybe another pop in Bitcoin. How far it goes, I don't know. Either way, the overall trend is down, notated by my technical analysis, notated by just the average trend of what Bitcoin is doing, setting lower highs, some lower lows, some higher lows. Either way, the overall trend is down on Bitcoin. The short term, it's trying to poke up, right? But this is either a giant bear flag working itself out in this formation, or the market's trying to head higher, but just the volume's not there. The volume is not there, and any money that comes into this market is being quickly retracted. And it literally, I've said this multiple times on my videos, that I really think it's the exchanges pumping this market up higher. And that's the only logical explanation I could come up with on how this volume is coming in and coming out so fast. I don't think like there's this shadow character behind a desk like overrule, like taking control of Bitcoin and all the alts, because I notice a lot of these moves happen in sync, and there's just no way. I mean, there's just no way unless there's like this massive group of like traders with unlimited funds and they all sit in like a war room and they're just like, okay, pump now. That's what makes me think it's the exchanges that are doing it, driving this money in, hyping it up. Someone posted an article, I wish I would have saved it, but where the exchange, I forgot what exchange it was, but they got caught shorting against the buyers on their platform. And, it doesn't surprise me, but I definitely think this is exchange manipulation. It would be the only logical explanation in my head on why these alts and Bitcoin all seem to pop in sync across the board. Sometimes one will lead the other, but typically they all start to work themselves into a very similar pattern. And there's just no way. Like, think about the possibilities. Think about all these different assets, right? I track 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including Bitcoin. And they all literally almost look identical on their charts right now. So that leads me to believe that this is mastermind and orchestrated by a single entity or multiple entities that are all in sync, including together. That's the only thing that makes sense in my head why I see this and why everything is in sync together. So the only thing I could say, people say that James, you're so bearish, blah, blah, blah. But when I see this habitually happening in this market over and over and over again, to expect anything else would literally be insanity in this market. So again, the volume came in, the volume came out. I do think there's a possibility for another run unless we start to waterfall down going into tonight and into tomorrow, which would negate that possibility. But if not, there may be another pop back up, and then from there I would expect a drop back down. And I do think this next drop could potentially be the doozy that blows out the bottom at 5,700 or so, because again, I just see this market being propped up. Once the gig is up, once they're just like, screw this, and they're out, and whoever is pumping this market up, and I definitely think it's the exchanges, but once they're out from this level, okay, you can see the pops are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Less people are buying in and buying in and buying in. Soon this trade is going to work against themselves to where it's not going to make sense to do it. So they're going to have to move down and pop it up again. Get the mainstream media hyped up, get them going crazy in a frenzy all over again, like we've seen time and time again. And you know, again, I just cannot get bullish on this asset at the time. Doesn't mean there's not money to be made, but I think everyone needs to be extremely skeptical of these moves until something changes. And people get hyped up like on catching this perfect bottom or catching the perfect top if you're going to short, for example. And so many people get hyped up on this fantasy of just calling this perfect bottom. Like, I bought here and I sold here and I bought here and I sold here. And, you know, like, it's just absolutely mind-boggling on how many people get so hung up on this and just cannot fathom letting the market work itself out, prove to you it's willing to make some higher highs and higher lows to change the trend, and then start to buy on those higher lows. Like, I mean, it's just mind-boggling on how people get so crazy and fanatic that as price starts running, they start chasing it, and by the time they start chasing it, it's up here. They're riding it back down, freaking out, selling it, riding it back up, chasing it, buying it, selling it, buying it, selling it, and then they're going nuts in their mind because they're just like, I'm always on the wrong side of the trade. So again, you know, I'm going to remain skeptical of this move. The volume just confirmed it yet once again for me. So again, just call me Mr. Bear for right now, because until something dramatically changes in this market, I'm going to tell everyone to be cautious, and I'm going to be skeptical of the move. So again, when it comes down to these lines, support's probably around like maybe 6,400 or so, but I think if Bitcoin's heading down to 6,400, that's it. It's a wrap. That's way too deep of a corrective move this early on. The breakout area is still 6,900. So 6,900 is that level that will catch my attention and make me think that, okay, possibly something else is in the cards, even though Bitcoin realistically needs to break above about 7,450 or so just to set a new high. But until then, again, so I'll kind of like perk up in a sense, figuratively speaking, that if we break through that 6,900 area, I'll say, okay, maybe something else is happening. But if I keep seeing this volume pump in and pump out, there's no way it's going to change. There's just no way it's going to change. Not like this. Not like this. If we start trading, if volume starts coming in and it starts sticking, and I mean, I'm start seeing back-to-back days of 6 billion, maybe we start moving to 7 billion, 8 billion, and it starts staying there for like a week, maybe a couple weeks, that would change my mind. But no way am I going to get hyped up about 6 billion coming in and then watching that 2 extra billion that came into this market immediately evaporate, not even 24 hours later, maybe closer to 36 hours. But it's just, there's just no way. And then to see the hype and the frenzy in mainstream media, no way. No way am I getting caught in the suckers game. So anyways, sorry to have a doom and gloom. Sorry to, you know, talk about Bitcoin, talk about the rest in this manner, but unfortunately that's the name of this game. So you just got to be careful. There's still money to be made on both sides of the trade. Just be careful. Use your stops wisely. If you don't have an investment strategy, write one up. That way you at least have some minimization to your risk and to your downside, no matter which way you're playing, short or long. But anyways, that's it. I'll do another video Wednesday night. Hope everybody has a great night, great day. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support. If you do like the video, like, comment, subscribe, follow.